ACALAN works with cartographers and demographers in developing a linguistic atlas for the ECOWAS region. Language is a powerful tool of communication without which no meaningful and sustainable development can take place. The African Academy of Languages, ACALAN, a specialized institution of the African Union, is determined to realize its core mandate of promoting African languages for a peaceful, prosperous, and integrated Africa. It organized a 2-day workshop for cartographers and demographers of the ECOWAS region and the Islamic Republic of Mauritania towards the development of the Linguistic Atlas of Africa. Earlier, ACALAN organized consultative workshops in Bamako and Abidjan on the 17th and 18th of October 2017, as well as between the 31st of October and 2nd of November 2018, in which certain recommendations were made. The implementation of those recommendations for both workshops for cartographers and demographers of the ECOWAS region and the Islamic Republic of Mauritania, which was held from the 15th to the 17th of April 2019 in Conakry, Republic of Guinea. The workshop had National Bureau of Statistics and some cartographers from the 15 ECOWAS member states and the Islamic Republic of Mauritania to give an expository discourse of the methodology and technical aspect related to the production of a linguistic atlas of the region.
The cartographers, we ask you to fill the template, and this template you're going to present what you have, the information, the data that you have for us regarding African languages, their interrelations, are they used in education, what are they used in administration, are they used in the newspapers, in the media, etc. You will do this thing, experts will listen, we will criticize each presentation, and we will revisit the template to say this template is good, so that when we are leaving here, at the end of this workshop, we will have a comprehensive template with questionnaire that everybody, experts agree to, and all of us will go to our countries and we will start thinking about engaging researchers to administer these questionnaires, to go to the field and do it.
The tool for our Africa-wide linguistic atlas data collection activities. I'm mentioning this just to emphasize the fact that we have a very serious duty and responsibility to discharge.
The Linguistic Atlas, also called Dialect Atlas Groups, the transmission of language features over a chosen area which shows conventional signs, also certain attributes as used by dialectical speakers such as sounds, words of syntactic features. The workshops designed a technical and coordinating committee of the ECOWAS region and appoints national coordinators to decide on the updating of existing data on linguistic atlases of the member states of the region, following the approach to different countries as regards Linguistic Atlas of African project. The cartographers and demographers were however enjoined to note the administrative organization in each country, which will be derived by the development of the Linguistic Atlas.
In fact, I forgot to consolidate the idea of national coordinating committees. The question was asked by my brother from Côte d'Ivoire at the beginning of the meeting, that the last meeting, there is a strong recommendation you could see in the document that was distributed yesterday about the recommendations of the Abidjan meeting, that national coordinating committees must be established through which ACALAN would write a letter to the authorities and the national structures to ask them to establish these things with cartographers. And I said the letters are on my table, and the terms of reference for this National Coordinating Committee is developed. I can show you these things. It is already here with us. So what we are doing, we are going to fine-tune everything when we go back immediately. No time to waste.
The objectives of the workshop were to set up a technical and coordinating committee for the Linguistic Atlas of the ECOWAS region and appoint national coordinators, decide on the updating of existing data on linguistic atlases of the member states of the region, set a deadline for statisticians and cartographers to produce a harmonized draft, plan an advocacy campaign for the project in the relevant member states, involve all the 15 ECOWAS member states and the Islamic Republic of Mauritania and ACALAN national structures, and set up a working group for advocacy and lobbying in member states concerned. Recommendations on data collection are to explain an appendix, the administrative organization in each country in keeping with the administrative structure at 3 levels to which the data will be aggregated. Elaborate improved data collection instruments that take into account all languages without exception, implement the data collection on languages and information, adopt a concrete data collection methodology for the languages to be proposed as the variable for the next general population and housing census of the different member states, collect only linguistic data in order to avoid confusing the language variable with that of ethnicity, conduct additional studies to obtain social-linguistic data, make an inventory of all languages, propose conceptual definitions for mapping experts and demographers, update linguistic data, ensure continuity, and ask National Bureau of Statistics to make data available on the language variables. In light of the development of the Linguistic Atlas, it was agreed that an inventory of all languages with minority languages inclusive of the numbers of speakers should be made. These proposed conceptual definitions from mapping experts and demographers are to ensure that everyone has the same understanding of the different terms used for data collection and the development of the Linguistic Atlas, in which data should be updated using a questionnaire and existing linguistic, sociolinguistic, and dialectological studies. The questionnaire should therefore have member states participate through National Bureau of Statistics to facilitate the collection of linguistic data useful for the realization of ACALAN's Linguistic Atlas project, which is to be introduced in the forthcoming General Population and Housing Census (GPHC). The language variables with a view to providing element of response to the realization of ACALAN's Language Atlas project.
We get this information through population and housing census. And what we do is we do project population by sex and then age, right? And how do you link it with the language? Because if you take the information, let's take the last time we did census was 2010. And then next year we are going to do another census, right? So if you project the population from intercensual period, that's the 2010 to 2020, the period that you have, you just project it by sex and then by age, but not by languages or by ethnicity. So if you say the baseline is 2018, I don't know how you are going to get the accurate information for.
In his technical consideration, having known that languages evolve around dynamism, there is need for the cartographers and demographers to be on the lookout for the changes that must have settled. It's reported that ACALAN should request member states to designate national structures in countries where they do not yet exist, and a national coordinating committee should be set up to encourage the holding of meetings of these structures with a view to starting work on the production of the Linguistic Atlas of each country, which should produce a draft language map at levels 0 and 1. The workshop had in attendance representatives of the National Bureau of Statistics of the member countries of the ECOWAS region and the Islamic Republic of Mauritania, the continental and regional coordinators for the ECOWAS region, representatives of the host country, representatives of the national language structure, the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Historical Heritage, staff of ACALAN Secretariat, as well as representatives of the Center for Linguistics and Historical Studies by Oral Tradition, CELTO, the International Center for Research and Documentation in African Tradition and Languages, CEDOTOLA, together with the International Center for Bantu Civilization, CICIBA. In conclusion, with all these great achievements on the Linguistic Atlas for the ECOWAS region as a model which will be replicated in other economic regions by ACALAN, one can say that Africa is set for an official Linguistic Atlas for the continent.